Hi AJ, this is my check-in for the end of week 3. I think it was a good week. Uh, in terms of the wins, I got all the sessions in again, albeit they were crammed towards the end of the week because of tattoo pain. I've been reasonably consistent. I say reasonably because I missed my step count once over the weekend, and I did go over my calories again at the weekend, probably the same day I think, because we had a barbecue. Um, the training week, it was affected by the tattoo again. Um, uh, this time I had my outer arm done, mostly my elbow, so it didn't really mess with my sleep as much as the previous week. But it did hurt with my arms, so I ended up having about 3 days off and then had to cram most of my sessions in at the end of the week. In terms of the training, I really struggled with the front squats. It totally messes my wrist because I have obviously don't have the shoulder flexibility. So I can't get my elbows up. I can here obviously, but not when I've got a bar in front of my neck. And then it feels like totally breaking my wrist. So I've damaged this right wrist at the moment. I had put in my notes early on in the week whether there was an alternative for the front squat, but I actually think I've been looking online and I think I might have a trick that will help me do it. So I'm going to give that a go probably tomorrow or Thursday. So I probably should be all right without an alternative. Deadlifts progressing, um, and I've just put here that it was great to be training in the sun again, although it's chucking it down again now. This yesterday I was doing my week 4, started the week 4 sessions, and I was back on with bench press. You made the comment in the last week's response that my bench wasn't progressing, and it still isn't. Um, I've just flicked to my bench. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here I'm still on the same weight. I'm doing 50 kilos, and I was aiming for 8 reps, and I failed every single set. Um, yeah, I don't know what that is. I always struggle with bench. It seems to be the least um, responsive of my of, of my exercises. Right. Okay. What else? What else? Nutrition. I think that isn't too bad. Um, I have been watching quite a few of your videos this week, which is a bit of an eye opener, I think. Um, Obviously, as a um, dedicated bodybuilder, you kind of you know about deprivation and hard work and so on. So I certainly feel like I can't really whine about my calories. One of the things that I do feel though, sort of at 1840, I really ought to. That's not that drastic, is it? And I ought to be able to feel quite satiated. So I think what I probably need to do is focus on which days I do feel more satisfied and try and learn something from that. I have had a few ravenous days, hence the day that I sort of overshot. Um, Physique changes. Weight has been a bit more promising. Seems to be on a upward trajectory again at the moment, but it has been, I suppose, the average for last week is definitely down. And I do actually feel less puffy, so I thought I'd take some progress shots this weekend and see if anything's visible. General mood is good. Energy, I think, is also pretty good, and I would say I'm feeling better than when I started. Sleep's getting better. Anything outside of training? Um, it was the tattoo session, as I've said. That's the last one now for at least a month, so no more excuses. Um, it didn't affect me as badly as the previous one, and I did start taking some turmeric actually. Uh, Questions? Okay. I was wondering what's your strategy for me in terms of the nutrition front? I think last in your response last week you were suggesting that you might hold me at this level for a while. And I was wondering, long term, are you anticipating having to drop that, or would you expect at any point to increase it, even if we're talking sort of really long term? I'm thinking reverse diet. Not that I know much about that, but I just wondered if that's sort of something that you had factored in. And I was also wondering about food plans in terms of how you actually go about eating. Do you eat the same sort of things every day, or whether you have a more sort of mix and match approach? So, for example, if you had a steak for lunch, do you then have a set series of or a set options that you would sort of go for your dinner, or whether you just sort of wing it each time and say, "Oh, I've got this many carbs and proteins left, so what can I manage?" I'm just trying to look for things that I can sort of adopt. Right, that's it. I think it's going quite well. Cheers.